Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope that you all are fine and healthy. Today we are going to learn about the new important aspects of the chapter number 13. You know that chapter number 13 is organisms and population. So you know that the in last two video lectures we have completed temperature as well as soil as abiotic factors. So you know that in our syllabus there are total four main major abiotic factors are there. First one is temperature, second one is water, third one is light means sunlight, and fourth one is soil. So yesterday we have completed temperature as well as soil, and today we are going to learn about the light as well as water. Okay, it means yesterday we have completed two major biotic factors, and today we are going to learn about the remaining other two major abiotic factors. But before starting today's video lecture, we are going to revise the yesterday's topic. So you know that what about temperature? So first point is important. Temperature is the most ecologically relevant environmental factor. You know that in different type of places means in different type of habitats found on this earth, temperature will be different. Temperature decreases progressively from the equator towards the poles and from plains to the mountains. In different type of habitat, the range of temperature will be zero. Like you can say that in polar regions means polar area, temperature will be from sub-zero level, while in high altitudes and in tropical desert in summer season, temperature will be higher than or greater than 50 degree centigrade. You know that what about the deep sea hydrothermal vents? For deep sea hydrothermal vents, the average temperature will be more than 100 degree centigrade. And you know that the three examples were there. First example was about the mango trees do not and cannot grow in temperate countries like Canada and Germany. Second example was about the snow leopards are not found in Kerala forest, and third one was about the tuna fish. Okay, and then next concept was about the enzyme. You know that the temperature is directly connected with the kinetics of enzyme, and because of it will affect on the basic metabolic activities as well as physiological functions. And then two definitions were there: euthermal organisms as well as stenothermal organisms. And last paragraph was about the increasing global temperature, okay, which is known as the global warming. So this is all aspects about the temperature. And now we will revise about the soil. You know that the properties and nature as well as characteristics of soil is different in different type of places as well as different type of nations. It is dependent upon climate, weathering process, as well as transported soil sedimentary process as well as soil development. Some factors are also there and some parameters are also there. You know that because of the different type of parameters, vegetation of the particular area means particular soil will be decided, and because of vegetation of soil, particular organism means animal will be decided. So the same concept will be there for the for the aquatic environmental according to the benthic organisms. Okay, and now in today's video lecture we are going to learn about the next and the third aspect means third major abiotic factor, which is known as water. See, it is also important short note. It is a question of 3 marks. So for this question we will also use the same method of easy language notes. So you can see on your screen now, title is water. It is also important question. First point, we can say that water is another the most important factor influencing the life of organisms. You know that the temperature is also one type of important factor. So here water is another the most important factor connected with the life of organism. And remember that water is one type of universal solvent. So you will write in your fair book, water is one type of universal solvent. Again, first point, it is the most important factor connected with the life of living organism. You know that our body is made up of water, so many percentage of water are there in different type of organisms. Point number 2, we can say that the life on earth originated in water. So we can say that the first organism, the first living organism of this earth was found or was originated in water. It means without water life is not possible. So for the origin of the first living organism, water was very important. And point number 3, without water it is unsustainable. It means if water was not there, then organisms should not able to survive. Okay, you know that the first living organisms are one type of cyanobacteria, and you know that the cyanobacteria are living inside the water. So we can say that the first living organism, even now for all organisms water is essential. Without water we are not think about our lives. So 3 points are completed. Again we are going to revise the all 3 points. First point, we can say that it is another most important factor connected with the life of living organisms. Remember, point number 2 is MCQ. The life on earth originated in water. And point number 3, without water it is not able to sustain. Okay, now see next concept. So first point, if we talk about the desert region, so now we have a particular habitat or particular ecosystem or particular biome. So the name of this habitat is desert. So in desert availability of water is so limited. Okay, it means in desert minimum water is available, so it is one type of limiting factor. So organisms require special type of adaptation for their survival. It means if we talk about the different type of habitat, then availability of water will be different. Okay, but for surviving or for the living in this particular habitat, organisms show different type of adaptations. Okay, like minimum loss of water in urine as well, and some different type of other organisms. For example, you can talk about the camel. You know that the camel having the so many adaptations to live in the desert type of habitat. Now see point number 2, we can say that productivity of plant is also dependent upon water as well as its distribution. So see here two words are there. First word is productivity of plant and second word is distribution of plant. You know that the water is the meaning of productivity. You know that plants are one type of producers. Plants are one type of autotrophic organisms. It means plants are able to do the process of photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight. So you know that in the process of photosynthesis from CO2 and H2O, glucose will be formed. So you know that the water molecule is required for the process of photosynthesis. So productivity as well as distribution. You know that the plants are like to grow, or plants like to grow where the water is available easily. So you can find or you can see the plant growing in a particular area where water is easily available. So 2 points you will remember. First one is plant productivity and second one is plants distribution. So here first page of this question is completed. Again we are going to revise the all aspect. First point, again you can say that it is also one type of most important factor influencing, means connected with the life of organisms on this earth. Second one, the life on earth originated in water. So point number 2 is important. It is one liner question, MCQ. Point number 3, without water life is not possible. It means without water it is unsustainable. So underline this word, unsustainable. For example, if we talk about the desert habitat, so in desert habitat availability of water is one type of limited factor. So organisms found in desert require special type of adaptation for surviving this particular area. Water will also affect on the plant productivity and plant distribution, or in other words we can say that plant productivity and plant distribution is 100% dependent upon what? Dependent upon water. So the first page of this question is completed. Now we will talk about the next page. See point number 3, organisms living in oceans as well as lake as well as river, means we are talking about the aquatic organism. You know that the aquatic organisms are living either in fresh water or marine water. So we think that these aquatic organisms should not face any water related or a water connected problem, but it is not true. See, you know that we all know that some organisms like the fish as well as some other aquatic organisms are living in the water. So according to us, we think that this aquatic organisms should not face water connected problem, but it is not true. So now if we are talking about the problems of the aquatic organisms, so we have some list. Okay, see point number 4 is about the problem. So first one is about the quality of water. Quality contains chemical composition of the dissolving molecule found in water as well as the pH of water. So you will remember quality of water including chemical composition as well as pH. Then second one is about the salt concentration. You know that the salt concentration will be measured as salinity. So underline, we have the new word. What is the meaning of salinity? Salinity is nothing but it is one type of measurement of salt concentration in parts per thousand. So underline in parts per thousand. So two problems are there. First one is about the, you can say, quality including chemical composition as well as pH, and second one is about the salt concentration. So for the measurement of salt concentration, the new concept will be there. It will be the salinity, and it is measured in parts per thousand. Now see, we have different 3 examples. If we talk about the inland waters, so in inland waters the value of salinity will be lesser than 5%. So you will remember for what, for which region? For the inland water the value of salinity will be less than 5%. If we talk about the sea water, means if we talk about the marine water, sea water, we can say that the value of salinity will be 30 to 35%. So again, for sea water means marine water, salty water, the salinity will be 30 to 35%. And see the last example number 3. If we talk about the hypersaline lagoon, see, hyper word is used, means maximum, so much. Hypersaline lagoons means the region having the maximum salts. So in this particular region the value or the amount of salinity will be more than 100%. Okay, so we have 3 different type of regions and 3 different type of value or amount of the salinity. Again, we are going to revise all the values and all the locations. First location, if we talk about the inland waters, so in inland water the amount or value of salinity will be less than 5%. If we talk about the sea water, so for sea water amount or value of salinity will be 30 to 35%. If we talk about the hypersaline lagoons, then amount or the value of salinity will be more than 100%. So this is point number 4, and point number 4 is about the problems. Now see, point number 5 and point number 6 both are very important, both having the two definitions. So here we have different type of definitions. So in point number 5 there is a definition of uri-haline type of organisms, and point number 6 we have the steno-haline type of organisms. So two different type of definitions, point number 5 and point number 6, again uri-haline and steno-haline. If we talk about the uri-haline, means the organisms can tolerant of a wide range of salinities. Okay, organisms can tolerant of a wide range of salinity are known as the uri-haline type of organisms, while if we talk about the steno-haline type of organisms, so the organisms which are restricted to a narrow range of salinity are known as steno-haline type of organisms. So this page is completed here. In this page we have the point number 3, 4, 5 and 6, and all points are very important. Again, if we talk about the point number 3, organisms living in ocean as well as pond as well as lake as well as wetlands as well as rivers, means if we talk about the all aquatic organisms, so we think that all these aquatic organisms should not face any water connected problem, but it is not true. Some problems are also there, like the quality including chemical composition and pH, and problems connected with the salt concentration. And you will remember that salt concentration will be measured as blank as salinity in parts per thousand. If we talk about the inland water, value will be less than 5%. If we talk about the sea water, value will be 30 to 35%. If we talk about the hypersaline lagoons, then the value will be more than 100%. Okay, now see, definitions are there. If organisms can tolerant of a wide range of salinities are known as uri-haline, and if organisms restricted to a narrow range of salinities are known as steno-haline type of organisms. So second page is also completed, and now we have the third and last page having the last point number 7 of this question. Now see, point number 7, many freshwater animals cannot live for long time in seawater, as well as many seawater organisms cannot live for a long time in freshwater. Means the fish found in freshwater is not able to survive for longer time in sea or in marine region. For example, we can say that if we have a particular fish which is known as A, and A fish is living in the river, so this fish A is not able to survive for long time in ocean. Why? Because of the some osmotic problems. So you will remember because of which problem? Because of the problem connected with osmosis, means osmotic problems. Freshwater organisms are not able to survive in marine water, and marine water organisms are not able to survive in freshwater. So this question is completed here, and now we have the textbook view of this question. So now you can see so many MCQs are there and so many important words are there. So now we will go through the textbook. See, first point, water. Water is another the most important factor influencing the life of organisms. In fact, life on earth originated in water and is unsustainable without water. Underline, it is not sustainable without water. Its availability is so limited in desert region that only special adaptation make it possible for organism to live there. Now two things, the productivity and distribution of plants is also heavily dependent upon water. You might think that organisms living in ocean, lakes and rivers, means aquatic organism, should not face any water related, means water connected problems, but it is not true. For aquatic organism, the water quality including chemical composition as well as pH of water becomes important. So you will underline this sentence. For aquatic organisms blank, then you will remember quality including chemical composition and pH of water becomes important. The salt concentration, which is measured as salinity in parts per thousand, see here not parts per 100, okay, you will remember parts per thousand, is less than 5% in inland waters, 30 to 35% in sea water, and more than 100% in some hypersaline lagoons. So you know that the three regions are there and three values are there. Again, which three regions? Inland waters 5%, sea 30 to 35%, and hypersaline lagoons the value will be more than 100%. Some, now see, definitions are there. Some organisms are tolerant of a wide range of salinities, which are known as euryhaline, but others are restricted to a narrow range, which are known as stenohaline type of organism. See, last point, many freshwater animals cannot live for long in seawater and vice versa because of the osmotic pressure they would face. So underline this, what will be the reason or what will be the problem? The problem will be osmotic problem. Okay, so problems connected with the osmosis. So this question of water as abiotic factor is completed. Thank you very much.